Hello and welcome. We are in the communication series and we're going to discuss one of the 7c's, complete. When you're communicating with someone, you want to make sure that your thought is complete. And sometimes it's hard because you want to just get everything out, so you're just kind of like rambling on. So it's important maybe to make bullet points or remember bullet points. When you're communicating with someone, it might be hard to remember. So definitely just make sure you write down the points. If you can effectively, completely discuss your whole train of thought, it may be easier for a person to realize your line of reasoning. Now, as a listening person, this takes patience, which we'll talk about that in another video. So, if you are the one that is actually communicating and you don't want any misunderstanding, or you want to make sure that everything you needed to say was clearly said, if a person interrupts you, which is common, we are so eager to respond and not listen. And I think that's just became like a way of life for most people. It's important that, hey, if they cut you off, be polite and just say, wait a minute, I'm not finished. Here is everything. I need you to understand everything. I am going to be more than willing to listen to what you have to say, but I just need you to completely listen to my complete thought. Sometimes you may have to shut a person down. And when it's like a heated argument, we talked before, agree to disagree, come back to it. If you feel that you have not completely gotten what you need to say, it's okay to say, wait a minute. Let's just discuss this later. Because it is hard for a person to even respond or even see your line of reasoning if you haven't completely gotten out everything you need to say. But if you're like running on and you're not, some of the other words clear, you're not correct, it could be hard for you to complete your thought. So there are a few ways to get it done. One, as I said, make sure that you kind of write it down, and or you can kind of give a person a snapshot of what you're going to discuss. So then that way they know, okay, well, wait a minute, this isn't complete. Something's missing. And or to just make sure that the communication is better understood, ask, hi, hey, did you get a complete understanding of what I was saying? Ask them to repeat back what you said. And if something is missing, then you can go forward and say, okay, well, wait a minute. That wasn't everything I meant when I was talking about this specific subject. Remember, you don't want to pull like 6 or 7 different debates into this one topic that you want to discuss. Complete. And just as you being a communicator, how sometimes like, oh man, I forgot to say this, or I forgot to add that part into it. If you know it's going to be a very serious conversation, take the time, write your bullet points, and tell a person, hey, listen, there's several things that I want to go over. I have 10 here, 10 things I want to go over. And 10 is a lot. So you really want to like put them as direct, and we'll talk about this in some of the other C's when it comes to communication, but you want them to be direct as possible so that you can get your complete thought out. But you want to also make it interesting. You want to be like dragging on. You just really want to make sure that everything is understood. And also keep in mind the person who you're speaking to. What is their mindset? Make sure that if they have any questions about something you said, this will also help you complete your thought. because you may have felt that you said everything that was necessary, but it may be some points missing. So don't feel or get offended when a person is questioning some things, because you could just possibly have left out some of the things that you were meaning to say. These are all great ways to become an effective communicator. Being able to complete your train of thought without jumping around, and making sure that whoever's listening to you has a full understanding of what you meant, gives you a better opportunity for the person to maybe even see your side of it. So again, make sure your message is complete before you move forward in your conversation.